Sorry, Brett, I've got a migraine. Tonight, Paul Keating compares John Howard to Hitler. Hitler says that's a bit rough. Posh and Bex arrive in LA and immediately ask how it's spelt. And tragedy strikes the running of the Bulls as drunken dickheads escape injury. All in a show so memorable, even John Howard knows its name. To the show. You all doing well?
Yeah!
Oh, we're all on a high at the moment, aren't we? Of course, because the big issue around the country... Hang on, sorry, I just got really freaked out. It took me a while to register. Just that everyone went... Whoa! You all doing well? The audience is full of the Incredible Hulk. Every single member of the audience. Audience happy, audience smash! Seriously, they're raging up. You need to calm down. Everyone just calm down. Just chill like some of the politicians, man. Just chill, man. Because apparently they're all on drugs. That's what everyone's saying. Everyone's accusing them of it. It's the big story around the country this week. Are our politicians taking drugs? What do we think?
Yeah!
Wait, it'll come back around. Oh, not quite. It's like when you get up at the football or the theatre. Oh, bravo, bravo, and then the seat flicks up. Bravo. I don't need drugs, kids. I have battery packs to keep me going. But here's my thing, right? I say, I don't know if the politicians are on drugs. But if they're not, I say, why not? They should be, because question time would be so much more interesting. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to draw your attention to my hands. Check them out, they're like finger wings. Oh, dude, I just crossed the floor and I didn't even move. This, of course, all of this came about, of course, from a story about Daniel Johns from Silverchair, told this week about himself, Bono and Peter Garrett apparently smoking a joint in a hotel room, although he instantly then tried to backtrack. Everyone's going, what? And he's going, what? I didn't share drugs with Peter Garrett and Bono. Well, why did you tell the story then? Because I was high. And John Howard has announced that he's never smoked pot. For the first time in my life, I completely believe something he said. Kevin Rudd came out and said, never, 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 which I took to be never, never, never been offered. But what bugs me, this is what bugs me though, right? It's when they say stuff like, well, I tried marijuana, but I didn't inhale. What's that? That's like saying, well, I tried beer, but I didn't swallow. It doesn't make you better than anyone, it just means you're stupid. But, I don't want a leader of our country being handed a joint and going, which end do I inject? You know, and they're becoming so positive about wanting to come out and admit to drug taking. It's almost as if they're looking for credibility. Oh, man, you should vote for me because last night I got so wasted. See? The lovely bearded Harry, do you want to help me with this? You know what this means, don't you?
What's that?
It means you have to fiddle with my back bits. As Harry touches me inappropriately, let's go to Carrie at the news desk.
Bickmore, and when I drink drive, I always check to make sure my dad isn't the Premier. Making news this week, the latest census data shows more Australian families can now afford housing. This is largely due to an increase in the black market price of children's kidneys. The BBC has depicted the Queen storming out of a photo shoot. The monarch later apologised, saying she was just nervous, as she'd never done full frontal before. Reports say a giant squid found dead on a beach in Tasmania this week suffered from depression. Biologists suspect it killed itself after being rejected by John West. Radcliffe says he enjoyed his first on-screen kiss in the new Harry Potter movie. But the young star is worried about shooting certain scenes in the next film, Harry Potter and the Troublesome Bra Strap of Embarrassment. In sport, Iraq has defeated Australia 3-1 in their Asian Cup clash. Despite the setback, John Howard has insisted we are winning the war on soccer and would not rule out committing more Socceroos to the tournament. And finally, Silverchair's American tour has been thrown into chaos with lead singer Daniel Johns suffering severe laryngitis. Johns believes he caught the bug while bonging on with Amanda Vanstone, Celine Dion and the Pope. That's what's making news this week. Back to you, Rove.
Thank you very much. Try not to distract you. I had a bearded man filling with my bits.
Oh, well, I'm flashing myself to the world.
Are you flashing?
Flashing.
You nearly flashed last week where you were telling us all about Molly's testicles.
Yes, I did.
Now, unfortunately, because of your condition, being that you're totally
Condition?
pregnant. You're totally pregnant.
Sick, but yes.
You're totally pregnant.
I am totally pregnant.
In the tummy.
Just had a few too many muffins.
So we a few too many whatever chili things that are around.
I know. Everyone's telling me it's phallic and that it looks like amoebas and then...
I was raised like an earwax thing. You know when you do those ear candles?
No.
You've never done an ear candle?
No.
When we get back from the States, you're doing an ear candle on this show.
What happens?
No, I don't want to give it away. It's the coolest thing ever. You've whacked and then you cut it open and you just go, oh my God, foul.
Oh, right. Fun.
Don't get too excited. But you'll not be able to come with us overseas because
No.
we're away next week to the States.
I don't think we should talk about it. It's called rubbing it in, right?
It is a little bit. Well, especially because I don't want to point this out, but part of what you'll be seeing next week from our show out of New York City is me totally taking a tour of the real Sesame Street with the real Elmo.
Oh, that's not fair.
Jealous?
Do you know I got given an Elmo doll when I first got pregnant and to give to my child in a couple of years' time, and I've played with it so much that it looks like a 2-year-old's, you know, throwing it around the room at times.
So just
by the time the kid gets it, it's going to be like, oh, this looks a bit worn.
I'd hang on to the weird waxy thing.
They can use that as a little, you know,
it's a great
toy.
It's a great rattle toy. Okay. All right, let's rattle this man's toy. It's Pete Space. I hope you haven't got any fantastic jokes this week, because if we stand to applaud, this could get dangerous.
Is that okay now? You're back in your pants?
It's okay.
Harry enjoyed that. Harry's smiling over there.
He is.
I think he did enjoy it. Let's get straight into Pete's Base. Now, we're off to America in the morning, heading over there. Woo! And hopefully this doesn't get me into trouble with the customs getting into America. But Osama bin Laden, welcome to Pete's Base. The bounty on the head of Osama bin Laden this week has been doubled to $58 million. That should take care of that, then. I always thought 29 million just wasn't a juicy enough carrot. That's why we haven't caught the world's most evil terrorists. There haven't been enough incentives. So I've taken it upon myself, guys. I've come up with a Pete Space Catch Osama bin Laden incentive pack. Oh. I've spoken to some friends. I've got some, some stuff. Not only will there be the 58 million the American government has ponied up, you'll also receive a year subscription to Cleo magazine, a double pass to see Ocean's 13, a box of Cadbury favourites, and 5 days of SeaWorld Nara Resort. Breakfast not included. For those interested in capturing Osama and receiving the Peace Base prize pack, he was last seen in the mountainous terrain of Afghanistan smoking a joint with Daniel Johns. They were plotting something. They were going to assassinate Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston's husband.
Oh, really? Yeah. He thinks everyone's out to get him now.
He hasn't sold a record in like 20 years. He thinks Osama bin Laden's going to kill him. Anyway, he's not in Peace Base. Max Howell is in Peace Base. Max Howell! Max Howell! This is a sad story. A boy was refused enrolment at a Victorian primary school because of his surname. His surname is Hell. I mean, I was so close to this when I was a kid, obviously. But the school has since changed their initial stance and invited Hell to enrol. But his dad said he would prefer to raise Hell elsewhere. It's not the first time this has happened, actually. This happened in my neighbourhood, my next-door neighbour, Gary Tits Fondle. He had to be homeschooled. Really? So it's not the first time it's happened. Bao Ji-Sean, welcome to Pete's Base. The tallest man in the world got married this week!
That was the best wedding photo. It was great.
According to Guinness Book of Record, he is the tallest man in the world. He married a woman half his age and half his height. Have a look at this. That is the
The hat wasn't fooling anyone. It's not helping.
Bao Shun stands an enormous 2.36 metres.
Wow.
It was a beautiful ceremony. They got married at the Empire State Building, and it was just the Bucks night was huge. Bao had 30 strippers give him a lap dance at the same time. He then entered the Guinness Book of Records that night for having he actually had an erection the size of Grand Dania. Seriously, that's in the Guinness Book of Records right there. Anthony Kelly, welcome to Peace Space, Anthony Kelly.
I remember Anthony Kelly.
You certainly do. Another man who got in the Guinness Book of Records this week was Anthony Kelly, who this week appeared on the Today Show to break a record. That record appears to be most tennis balls dropped on a breakfast TV show. Have a look at this. Now, I do jest. He is supposed to be catching the tennis balls. They don't seem to be going to his hands. This is live television at its best, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, catch it! Oh, damn it! Come on, that one! Oh, damn it!
I was trying to adopt the one-hand, one-bounce rule. Did you see that?
One-hand, one-bounce. Now I see why Australia's Got Talent is off the air. We've run out of talent. Now, Anthony Kelly does look familiar to us.
I know him because we had him on the show years ago.
What was he doing on the show?
He was trying to break a world record attempt to catch arrows.
He was catching arrows, or should I say, dropping arrows.
Close range, remember, kids don't try
Here's go, Roble. Here's go. He just... Oh, come on.
That was seriously...
Is he breaking any ever?
Seriously, with form like that, he could get a job being the goalkeeper for the Socceroos. But good luck, Anthony. He actually did break it. He did actually break the record.
And a couple of capillaries in his arm with the bruises.
He had bruises, but good luck to him. That's Peace Space this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Carrie. We'll be right back. Robin Williams, Jane Hall, Regina Spektor. Big show tonight. Don't go anywhere.
Still to come on Rove, the legendary Robin Williams, Dave Hughes, Jane Hall, music from Regina Spektor, comedy from Michael Chamberlin, and up next, Hamish and Andy.
Shake. Shake my hand.
I've got no arms.
Ooh.
We're a man down. Someone's been enjoying the show so much he nearly wet himself. He's coming back. No, sorry, the camera's running. But his chair's been left behind and I'm worried it's flicked up while he's been gone. Don't know what the man's name is, but right now on Australian and New Zealand television, everyone knows he has to do wee. Follow him. Go out to the toilet and find out where he is. Where is he? I'll find him! I'll get him! Where are you? I've lost him. Where is he? There he is. We'll find him. Is he on his way back? Is that him on his way back? Which way? I can see the curtains moving. That's either a look of embarrassment or a look of absolute relief. Well, I tell you what, we are very, very excited. We have been mentioning it for the last couple of weeks. Heading over to America for shows in New York and Los Angeles. And some of our crew have never been overseas, discussing it the last couple of days. So before the show, I thought I'd ask the audience for a few of their top travel tips. Nick said, I once found out the hard way that international flights are not pants optional. Norman said, I found Qantas stewardesses will bend over backwards to ensure a pleasant flight. They'll also bend over forwards if you're a movie star. Richard says, I avoid being searched by customs by carrying drugs into my bloodstream and then peeing them out a few days later. Bill says, just for fun, freak out the sniffer dog by strapping another sniffer dog to your body. Doug says, Americans drive on the other side of the road, so I practice a lot by driving on the other side of the road here before I leave. And Melissa says, always remember, in America, a fanny is a back bottom. And those were our audience's top travel tips. And now here's two people eye bags not sitting next to on the plane. These frequent flyers. Say hello to Hamish and Andy.
I wanted you to come and get me.
How are you, boys?
Yeah, very well. Great.
Now, I've been listening to your radio show, your drive radio show, as many people do around the big brown land, and I know what you've got planned for us tonight. It's been a busy couple of days for you.
Oh, yeah.
It absolutely has. In between the occasional song and ad on our show, we became dads. We took ownership of two girls, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. We moved into their house. We took the parents to a hotel room, and we cared for them for the whole week, 24 hours a day.
Now, so what brought this on?
Girls. It was our girlfriends, because we sort of knocked up the film,
Yep.
and our girlfriends were going, oh, it'd be a disaster if we ever got pregnant to you. Like, with our corresponding girlfriends. It would be a disaster if we crossed over. And they were having us going, you'd be the world's worst dad. So we said, look, we'll do this. We'll be dads for a week to show you that we could actually do it. Now, fatherhood and parenthood, I'll just teach a few lessons here, is not easy. It's sort of like a game, I guess, where to win, you don't let the kid die.
Good tip, good tip.
You keep them alive, you're a winner. And you can call yourself a good father.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pete's got a great prize pack, I hear. So how'd you go? You think
We
you did
won
okay?
this week. They're still alive, everybody.
Thank you. To be honest, I think I made a great dad.
Yeah?
Favourite dad, if you will.
Oh, out of the two?
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being touted around as favourite dad.
I really sort of felt that behind my back, the kids were calling me favourite dad.
They didn't call you favourite dad. They didn't call you favourite dad. Anyway, the thing is, Hamish, instead of caring for these kids like he was meant to all week, he kind of went about trying to become favourite dad.
And I was favourite
For the whole week. He did
Apparently that was
nothing. And normally, Rove, we present a package together, but this
Yes.
week, Hamish hasn't seen this, but I have cut together the real package of how we were as dads. Of how
right.
Hamish actually acted. Have a watch.
It's a special day for us. Special day. About to become dads. Lucy is the small one. Sarah is the bigger one.
So we were dads, and I knew in the first 10 minutes that Hamish was going to be in definite trouble.
I don't know what to say now. Just look at you. Well, you want to play with a hat?
We're about to go to the supermarket to pick up the food for the week, and Hamish has never cooked in his life.
Who wants Shrek cereal? Me! Never really have enough Yogo, I've found. Can we agree on Spiral?
With the shopping done, thanks for your help, Ham, it was time for us to both cook dinner.
How far's dinner, mate?
I really do feel like a single parent with 3 kids. And after slaving over a hot stove all night, I was hoping for a bit of support from my co-dad.
This is nice, isn't it? A little bit standard, but still nice.
What an arsehole. Anyway, Hamish wanted to be in charge of dessert and assured me it would contain fruit.
Banana. Custard. Lucy's had her fruit. Bit of banana. Healthy. Rainbow pudding.
Great work, Ham, because sugar helps kids go to sleep, doesn't it?
Favourite dad. Favourite dad. Quiet now, favourite dad.
He did eat a lot of yoga.
Okay, kids, welcome to the zoo. Your
Hamish
dad's...
is disappointed because he thought we were going to Zoo Weekly, but
Where's Crystal?
we were a happy family at the zoo, and the kids were astounded at how the so-called favourite dad could answer all their questions.
Penguins just survive on food that they find at the beach, like
drumsticks and chico rolls and stuff like that. Sometimes you know how cats eat fish. Yeah. Sometimes if a cat falls in love with a fish, it makes a seal. This is where they bring out the flavour. And if they're healthy enough, then they become sausages.
I don't think I've ever been this tired. It's because I get tired all day just looking after one person. Which is you. And now I've got to look after 3, and they love me for it. I'm their favourite, but it's still making me really tired.
Where do you get the favourite thing from?
I think it's just their attitude, but still, I respect what you're doing as well.
We were woken early by a 4.5-year-old alarm clock. I got the girls ready for a mother's group meeting, and yes, I am wearing a dad jumper, while Hamish went to get supplies from the what, Lucy?
Shots.
Yay! I have no idea what he's doing. Time for the mother's group meeting. 9 mums, 11 kids, 2 idiots, and unfortunately, dirty nappies.
It's Co Brownham. Please change your nappy. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Oh, buttons.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. It's all right. It's a cookie. It's a cookie.
So with a long week drawing to a close, it really did become clear to me who the problem child was.
Do you want to play a game? Who gave you rainbow pudding?
Yay.
And who's your favourite dad? Hint, it's the same answer.
Yeah.
And the kids survived. Well done.
They did survive. They haven't slept for 5 days because of all the sugar, but they did survive. They'll come down soon and then they'll remember all the good times.
Well, we're looking forward to the next couple of weeks to see what you've got for us when we hit the States as well. Please thank Andy and favourite dad.
No.
We'll be right back after this.
This outfit's crap. You look fine, Your Majesty. I look like a freaking corpse in a sleeping bag.
Up next, Robin Williams.
Introducing the hot new European-style Corolla with 100-kilowatt dual VVTi engine and 6-speed manual transmission, available in hatch and sedan. It's the hottest Corolla ever.
Next week on Rove, start spreading the news. Rove is in New York. Join us as we take a big bite out of the Big Apple. Rove, direct from Times Square, next Sunday night.
Absolutely. In the heart of Times Square next week, coming to you live. We'll be joined, amongst other people, by the very funny Adam Sandler in the studio. And if you've got Aussie friends in LA, they can go to our website, rovedaily.com, and try their luck at getting tickets to be in our audience for the following week's show out of Los Angeles. We've just allowed a few more seats available. So if you're headed over there or you know someone who is there, log on to the website to see if you can be a part of it. Now, one of the things I love about America is this TiVo thing. I don't know if you've heard about it. They reference it in movies and TV shows all the time. It's a gizmo that lets you record TV shows without the ads. And it's coming soon to Australia. But the downside is, with no commercial breaks, advertisers are going to have to do a lot more product placement within TV shows. I, for one, think it's wrong. I'm not happy with it. What do you think, Pete?
I think it's terrible, Rove. When I heard about it, it made me quite sick to the stomach. Oh, what a feeling.
Not happy at all. Carrie, what did you think?
Oh, look, I just can't talk right now. I just need some time out.
Ryan, any thoughts?
Oh, I'm a bit busy, Rove. I'm just, I'll be with you in a jiff.
Right. Hamish, Andy?
Yeah, mate, no, look, it's all well and good, but there are some performers that money cannot buy.
And for Hamish and I, it's MasterCard.
Okay, well, obviously we're all sellouts here, but what does the audience think of product placement? Right. Again, Pete, what do you think? What do you think?
I'm still stuck in the air! I'm blurry!
I know. When he turned up tonight, I said, Pete, you're looking a bit blurry tonight. All right, here's a person I would have no trouble endorsing, one of the funniest men in the world.
Robin Williams first landed in our lives as Mork from Ork. Roles in Good Morning Vietnam, Dead Poets Society, and Mrs. Doubtfire made him a big screen legend. And Good Will Hunting won him an Oscar. Coming soon, we'll see him as Reverend Frank in the new comedy License to Wed.
Before I certify you ready for marriage, you have to pass the marriage preparation course here.
This isn't mandatory, right?
Let's just say we strongly advise it. The communication test, blindfold.
You're insane!
Garbage truck right there, garbage truck!
I never get this space!
Robin Williams parked himself in our New York studios to talk to Rove.
Nice to be here, yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, actually. It's, I have 11 months sober, so it's a good day for me, sir.
Is there a special a certificate you get for 12?
Yes, you get a small chip redeemable for 1 drink.
And so what else have you been up to?
I'm just riding my bike in San Francisco, just having a good time. It's been nice having some time off.
Well, how do you go cycling? Because you're quite an hirsute gentleman, and you're meant to be smooth as silk when you get on a bike.
Yeah, most people are, but for me, I'm born with arm warmers and leg warmers, so it becomes an animal rights issue. People don't ride with fur.
Does it get caught in the spokes?
It's not that long. I mean, I don't have to do the braiding thing. That's for the French girls who are cycling.
Lovely.
Look out, I can't... What are you saying? It's crazy. They're like boots. I don't mind. Hello, what are you doing?
Have you ever waxed?
I did, actually. I didn't wax. I had 2 girls. I know it sounds like 2 Thai girls wax my back. But it was, at one point they said, do you mind if we take a break?
Well, let's have a chat about the film License to Wed, of course. You play a reverend with a rather unique way of getting a married couple together. What sort of things do you think a couple going into marriage should be put through?
I think they should have a lovely tantric yoga course, just so they really get anticipation going. You know, when you get the tantric thing, as you can see Singh, who has more semen than the 5th Fleet sometimes, you realize that just to build up the tension from the tantric yoga, to have the yoni and the lingam deeply attracted, but never achieving that moment of the total awe.
Now, you yourself have been married for 18 years. What's your secret?
A wonderful wife, I think. As a comedian, it's always difficult to say a wife who's not afraid of me being free range in terms of having to perform so much, and also who's just extraordinary. Without that, I would be doomed. I think she is a gift. Thank you for this thing, this gift. Hello. I got very Jewish then.
Now, just getting back to the film, there's a scene with the 2 robotic babies. Now...
Oh, they're frightening.
They were intentionally meant to look confronting, but surely the first time you saw them, they freaked you out. They're hideous little things.
Yeah, they look like Dick Cheney as a child, I think, which is the most frightening thing of all. The 2 of them are kind of, I believe we should have made everywhere. And I think those would be the best birth control in the whole world. Just have those sitting nearby going, put on a condom, or you get this.
I always like your line that the best birth control is to look down and go,
It is. Basically, men can't stand it. I think if a woman said, it looks like squirrel with luggage. What are you doing?
It looks like a baby bird poking its beak out of the nest is a nice analogy, I find.
You're right. It's a...
Hello.
Stand back. We don't know how big this gets.
Nice to see you.
Got one eye and no conscience? What are you doing? Don't be afraid. Choke it! Choke it!
Now, Robin, we have a segment on our show. It's called 20 bucks in 20 seconds, where basically with 20 seconds on the clock, you have the ability to win this. Do you like the look of that? It's our shiny, colourful money that's worth probably about $5 to you.
Oh, is that new Australian money?
It's the real deal.
That is a real Australian bill?
It is a real Australian bill. Look.
Does it have famous Australians on there?
It certainly does, and because we know nothing about our own history, we just go, it's an old dude and an old chick.
Who is this?
The founders of Australia, the old dude and the old chick.
Here we go. If I was a priest, what would you confess to me?
Self-abuse.
Name someone who doesn't find you funny.
Yes, my wife.
If sultanas could speak, what would they say?
I'm so old.
When was the last time you really felt nervous?
Before sex.
What's your favourite porn movie?
Snatch Adams.
And the final question we always end on, who would you turn gay for?
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Good driving buddy too.
Yeah, good to take out there. It was interesting he got busted by the only Jewish highway patrolman.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. Mr. Rove, have a great day, sir.
I will, and you can too. All you have to do is pull the blind behind you and that scene will automatically go from nighttime to daytime.
You're right!
Yes! If you pull it, there's a daytime scene behind it.
Hold on. I'm going over here now, just to see.
Let there be light!
Hold on. I'm not qualified to do this. You gotta call a union guy. Without the union guy, you can't do this. Bobby! Here we go.
Good morning!
Good morning! Welcome back! Those on meditation, we've just had a wonderful morning. Welcome to Good Morning.
This interview went forever.
Hey, we've been on for 24 hours. How much money have we raised?
Let's get the final tally.
That's right. It's for the Britney Spears Merkin Foundation. Buy fake hair for Britney's lovely pudendum. Call now the Britney Spears Merkin Foundation, 976 Merkin. A muff is a terrible thing to waste. Call now. Please call before our lines close, before the actual people call. Our magic symbol is, hello, Britney. Good luck, everybody. Take care, and God bless.
We raised a lot. It's a wonderful cause. Here's the plug. Licence to Wear starring Mr. Robin Williams opens around Australia and New Zealand on August the 2nd. We'll be back with Dave Hughesy Hughes after this.
Oh, these bike shorts are too tight. I'm going to take them off.
No, don't!
The new series of Thank God You're Here has landed. 7:30 Wednesday.
That's my dad.
We open the door for Hamish, Kate, Merrick, and newcomer Nish. New Thank God.
Oh, this is taking forever. See how slow this is? I'll never get to see her knockers at this rate. It's not even broadband. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, oh, that's it. I'm going to a strip club.
Time now for a man I download whenever I have the chance. It's Dave Hughes.
I'm angry, I tell you, I'm angry, because not only are politicians on drugs, they're now on the internet. As you saw there, that was Kevin Rudd. There was a launch for MySpace this week. Now all these Aussie politicians have got MySpace pages. I mean, it's meant to be for the youth. Now these freaks are involved. Haven't the children suffered enough? Seriously. And I mean, it's going to give them another chance to lie. Apparently John Howard's got a MySpace profile where he's a 22-year-old, 6'3" guy who loves lesbians. Seriously, though, it's not right. They're meant to be running the country, going to spend all their lives pimping their pages. Honestly, Malcolm Turnbull's meant to be solving the water crisis. He'll spend all his time uploading photos of himself in his Speedos. And they'll be getting addicted to having MySpace friends, because most of the freaks have never had any real friends. They've never even had imaginary friends. And I know what it's like having MySpace friends. I had 40,000 and it was a nightmare. I'd run into these people on the street and they go, Hughesy, we're MySpace friends. I'd go, excellent. Anyway, we'll have to catch up again sometime. It was tough, and the MySpace friends turn on you and they get abusive. I had a woman write on my page, she said, I wrote to you a while back and asked you to write on my MySpace page and you never did. Now I think you're an asshole. Her name was Susie, so I thought I'd better write on her page. I wrote on Susie's page, Susie's an attention-seeking, whinging mob. I know what it's it's like getting in trouble on the internet, though, too. I know, seriously, on the radio. Actually, we used to get I'd get emails, and I had an email war going with a guy for ages. He'd write things like, Dave Hughes, you're an asshole. And I'd write back, you are. Once he wrote, I hate you and so do all my friends. And I wrote back, you don't have any friends. Eventually, I got so angry with this guy after about 6 weeks of email abuse, I wrote an email and said, put your phone number in your next email, you weak dog, and I'll ring you up and we'll find somewhere to meet and sort this out. And he did. He put his phone number on and I rang him up and I was so fired up and his mum answered the phone. She said, he's 11 years old. I said, he friggin' started it. That's it for me. Thank you.
So you're off MySpace now?
Off it, mate. I'm completely off it, so don't send me an email after the show because
I've never MySpace. I've never Facebook. That's a big thing now, is Facebook. Any of you MySpace?
I got one MySpace page. It's Helliar Hellraiser, something like that. There's other pages that got my face on. I've got nothing to do with them. That's the only one I've got.
Sure, you go on. You see like 10 different ones.
No, there's always the ones that apparently people. I've gone on them and people are writing to me. It's not to me at all. And then Carrie, I do Strawny. He's got like 40,000 friends. He's got nothing to do with me.
He writes to us. Strawny writes to us.
And we're going, Pete, do some work.
Pete, you've got my mobile number. Call me.
Hamish, you're totally MySpace addicted.
I'm so with you, Hughesy. It's just, you open the Pandora's box, you get on, and people just expect you, like, because your MySpace friends, like, come over and move house with them and stuff. You can't do it. You can't. It's too much.
Apparently on Facebook, my brother said to me the other day, he goes, oh, yeah, your friend Wendy poked me. And I went,
what's that mean?
What do you mean by poked? He goes, it's Facebook lingo. I went, poke means, in my book,
And usually after I do it to girls, they go, LOL, that was rubbish.
All right, well, let's add a new friend to our homepage with our next guest.
Jane Hall came into our lives in All Together Now, and since then she's popped up in Australia's most famous TV locations, from Summer Bay to Wandon Valley and Mount Thomas. Now she's heading to Erinsborough to shake up the neighbours on Ramsay Street.
Everybody needs the very good Jane Hall!
Oh, I know, and I wasn't too sure about that dress. That one I like.
Yeah?
Yeah. You're a bit picky on photos when you're a bit of a
When you expect them to be splashed up that large.
Rather large, aren't they?
Hello.
Nice if they're a little smaller.
Like what I see, like what I see. Don't know why I'm doing that.
Thanks.
A
I
guy
don't know
wet
either.
himself in the audience tonight.
Hands up. Who was it?
Dude with the
Are we
glasses, which
admitting
doesn't
to
narrow
it?
down. Did we?
Oh, no.
Tell they did a we. Hey, is there any Australian television show you haven't been on?
No.
You've
I don't
done it
think
all.
so. No, come on. There's heaps that I haven't done. I always, for instance, wanted to be in Carson's Law.
Oh,
That's one that escaped me.
That was one of those period drama pieces.
Oh, I love a period drama. I would have done that in a flash Rove.
Right, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
There must be one happening soon at some point.
No,
It's all coming back now.
I think I'm a bit tied up for a while, Rove, just quietly.
Well, yes, it's the new Neighbours. It's like it's sometime in the next couple of weeks.
The change
it's
is
like
coming,
a transformer.
though. Yeah, it's a little sort of menopausal,
Neighbours
we feel.
more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
What's happening? What's going to happen?
I'm going to bring you crashing down here. It's not a Transformers-esque type thing.
No, it is, Jane.
I think on the... Yeah, I want it to be in your head. That's what I want for you, but it's not. There's a bit of a new theme song. There's a lot of new cast members. There's a lot of new photos. There's a lot of new locations and houses and that sort of thing. But the changes are actually long-term.
Right. Are you sure you've signed up for Neighbours and not a different TV show altogether?
Sometimes I worry about that,
for
but
Sea
no.
Patrol or something. Just going,
No,
it's
definitely
all
not.
on boats now, apparently.
I feel like maybe another network. I feel like maybe a network we're not allowed to mention.
What, Channel 9?
Oh, ooh.
7? ABC? There's other networks.
You are a law unto
Oh,
yourself, Rove McManus.
No one's going to stop me from...
No.
So long as it's... Just don't mention Grey's Anatomy.
Okay,
whatever you
fine.
do, okay?
No, sure.
So that sounds like pretty major stuff, though.
Look, it really is. Neighbours is being sort of reborn, if you like. It honestly is, from the ground up. There's a whole lot of really exciting stuff happening, but it's going to take a while to change. But the immediate things are that you will notice the new song and a lot of new cast.
I can't deal with a new Neighbours song.
No, no, it's not the new song. It's like new singers, and it looks.
Does Barry Crocker come back to sing?
No, Barry.
They should get Barry Crocker back
to sing. Do you know that was my suggestion? It fell on deaf ears, Rove.
That's what's wrong with this network.
Really?
And
deaf ears?
Deaf ears. That's a problem.
No, I actually love being here. It's good. 10's good.
So, now I hear that on your first day you wanted out, though.
Oh, meltdown.
Despite all the new changes.
Major meltdown. Look, part of the thing with Neighbours is getting used to the speed, and I personally hadn't worked this quickly before.
Is that in drugs? Because that could be a scoop.
No, I mean that in a really nice way, okay? There's nothing illicit about what I'm going to say.
The bouncer's not on the coke?
No, I'm anti.
Good.
I'm anti. There's nothing going on there. There's about 15 to 20 minutes in the studio per scene to shoot it. So I come in, and it's my first day in studio, and I have probably my most crucial scene, which is where I met my son.
Yes.
You know, I've never seen him before.
And
I gave him up when I was 17.
Speed and he's Barry Crocker.
No drugs involved again.
Right, sorry.
And so they say
he's the transformer.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I'm lost. Anyway, pivotal scene.
Anyway, pivotal scene, and they say, can we shoot this in 5 minutes? Cut a long story short, I was crap. Went into the producer's office, said, you've made a terrible mistake.
Oh, no.
Sack me now. And, but I was crap, as it turned out. We had to reshoot it. And I wasn't much good the second time round either. But after a couple of weeks... No, seriously, it was true. After a couple of weeks, I hit my straps. As much as you can hit your straps in Neighbours, and Bob's your uncle.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going well.
Oh, good, absolutely. And if you keep suggesting ideas like Barry Crocker, you have a safe home.
Totally,
A safe home here at 10. There we go.
Indeed.
I have to. There's a little electric shock every time I mention. Another Grey's
Anatomy.
20 bucks in 20 seconds. Want to win it?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm nervous about this.
You're nervous about this? If you do a bad job...
What happens?
If we do a bad job, there's no second chance at this one.
That's a crappy $20 note. It's
I know.
Sort of crinkled.
It got a bit lopsided. Look at that. It's a bit.
It's a bit sort of.
I'm a bit worried about it. Start the clock. Have you ever smoked pot with Daniel Johns?
No, never. I made a mistake.
What do you do better than acting?
Crochet.
Oh, really? Oh, if you were trying to pick me up, what drink would you buy me?
Oh, a G&T, although gin's a depressant and a leg opener.
I'm funny, but I'm depressed about it. Do you actually watch Neighbours?
Yes, I do.
Favourite comedian, Rodney Root or Kevin Bloody Wilson?
Oh, Kevin, all the way.
Are Zoot reviews spontaneous or scripted?
Why? Because I did one. Yeah, scripted.
Oh, OK. Who would you turn gay for, Jane Hall?
Now, we've discussed this at length, and I'm going with Catherine Zeta-Jones, It's a Hair Thing, or the entire cast of Grey's Anatomy.
All right, well, let's get the plug away. Speaking of, you can see Jane Hall on the all-new improved 99% fat-free Neighbours weeknights on 10. Thank you, Jane Hall.
Thank you for having me.
Have that. Thank you. You said things about being funny and drunk. Yay. We'll be right back.
And it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart. When it breaks my heart.
Ready? Okay. A-M-E-R-I-C-A. Rove Daly's going to the USA, okay? I'm gay. With video updates every day from New York and LA, okay? I'm still gay. All right. And yeah, we're gonna bring it.
You've got the chest there for it. That's what I love about it.
I grew it just for that.
I know.
I would have loved to see him in Borat's, like, unitard thing, you know?
He's got it. He wears it most days.
Hey, now, Jane, you recently worked on an American production with Deborah Messing.
I did The Starter Wife. It's recently been on, in the States.
So, what's it like working with Americans? Because we're about to do it next week.
You sure are. And let me tell you, it's a whole new world, Rove, that's about to open up. Yeah, the star system is so different. For instance, we had to shoot on the beach, right? And with the rest of the Aussie actors is like schlepping down, carrying all our stuff and, you know, sprays hitting us, the flies are up our nose. Deborah gets driven down to the actual shoreline in a gigantic SUV.
Really?
And she just steps out. Her feet don't even get wet. And then she has to go in that much surf, but she sends her bodyguard in first to fish out all the stingers. So, you know, he's really sort of, you know, taken a hit for the team, you know. He's just getting stung so that she can go into the shallows to shoot. It's a parallel universe.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So, can you not stand up and go, well, I wouldn't mind not having a blue bottle down my bathers?
And I so did, but clearly I had to wade on in anyway.
Could you just say, Deborah, can you stop being a wanker?
No. I would have loved to, but we had to avoid eye contact. You know, we just
bullshit. No, is that true? Is that true?
No, it's not true. But they don't really mix and mingle with your Aussie co-stars.
I just love the fact that you could have a whole lot of bodyguards together going, yeah, you know, took a bullet here. What about a guy with a knife? What about you, jellyfish?
Yeah, took a stinger for the team.
It was looking really wobbly.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All right, stand-up comedy now from one of our very good friends. Be nice to Mr. Michael Chamberlin.
How do you do? Nice to see you. Thank you for that kind reaction. I want to tell you about the best reaction I've ever seen for any performer ever. Okay, it was about a long time ago. My family and I went to see the Pope say mass at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. 100,000 Catholics. And when the Pope hit the arena, the place went mental. It was like a rock star had entered the arena. Seriously, nuns were flashing him. And I just wanted to see the Pope do one rock star trick. Like, I wanted to see the Pope do one rock star thing. I wanted to see the Pope up in front of all those people just go, hey, I was in Sydney last night and they said the Melbourne didn't know how to pray. They never know how to pray, crazy mofo! I won't tell you about the first gig I ever did, actually. The first time I was on stage, I was about 6 years old, and I was cast as one of the three wise men in my school's end-of-year production of The Nativity. And if I can reminisce for a moment, back then it was a simpler time. It was back in the day when parents were not only allowed to hit their own children, they were required by society to hit other people's children too. It was back in the day when kids weren't diagnosed with attention deficit disorders. If your child was hyperactive and annoying, it wasn't because of a chemical imbalance, it was because they were an arsehole. It was back in the day when fat kids were picked on because they were the minority. Now, they're the majority. They're picking on the skinny kids. Oh yeah, you skinny boomba. Hey, look at him. He doesn't sweat when he eats. Yeah, we bash you if we could catch you. But I always wanted the three wise men when I started. The three wise men, the first one, the gold, the second one, the frankincense, the third one, the funk, and the myrrh. I got the myrrh. Thanks, Rove. I got the myrrh. No one wants the myrrh, really. I reckon even the wise man who had the myrrh didn't want the myrrh. He was trailing behind the other two going, oh, come on, can't we say the gifts are from all of us? I love myrrh too, because no one knows what it is. I think if you ask most Australians what myrrh is, they'd say it's the noise that a French cow makes. Myrrh! Drive through the fields of France, see cars standing there with berets, goatees, glass of red wine, cigarillos, meh, with pallets painting portraits of other cars and then spitting on them because not only do they hate themselves, they hate their work. Meh! My grandma was at my first performance. She was very cool, my grandma. She had a heart of gold, a rare condition. She was one of those cheetah vegetarians. You know those vegetarians? The first vegetarian I ever met, but one of those cheetah vegetarians. She's one of those vegetarians who goes, oh, I'm vegetarian, but I eat fish. Which I think is kind of like saying, oh, I'm a heterosexual male, but every now and then I like a little bit of cock. Just a side dish of cock. She had a wheelchair, and a lady used my grandma, one of those pushy army wheelie chairs you might see in the Paralympics or something like that. I mean, not as flashy as the ones in the Paralympics, but still pretty cool. I'm not paying out on the Paralympics. I love them. I have always thought, though, that we could spice them up, because they do have all these events for the people in the pushy army wheelie chairs, yet no events for people in motorised. Wheelchairs. I mean, what would you rather see? A wheelchair going down a straight 25, 30 girly kilometres an hour? Or would you rather see a hotted up wheelchair burning down a straight 300 k's an hour? It'd be like the drag racing, flames shooting out the back, slow down, a parachute would come out. Or monster wheelchairs. Normal size wheelchair, giant monster truck tyres just crashing cars, and the risk of serious injury greatly reduced because all of the athletes, they're already in wheelchairs. See you later, folks. Have fun.
Bringing the fun. I don't know who I am. After this, don't miss a beautiful performance we'll be talking about all week from the stunning Regina Spektor. We awkwardly held back then. We didn't know what to do. We'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Welcome to Real Stories.
Australia's funniest duo take TV current affairs to a hilarious extreme. Hamish and Andy's Real Stories.
Stories, and don't forget you can buy the Real Stories DVD at the moment with one of my favourite features, the making of commentary with all your dads.
Oh, yeah, the dads.
Yeah. The dads.
The creators of the creators. We get our dads to sit there and do the commentary.
Hamish's dad hadn't seen the series at all. His comments are quite good.
My dad's not. We set them all up with 4 microphones and they watched the show. Dad didn't say anything, didn't understand what a commentary was. Doesn't say anything for the first 15 minutes. Then you hear him go, jokes, and got out and went, yeah, it's pretty good. And I went, it wasn't a review, mate. You were meant to talk.
Hey, now, I just found out something during the break, Jane, that the Deborah Messing movie, TV show that you were in, Mark Holt was in that?
Was he?
Oh,
yes, he was.
He has that effect on people.
He played himself. He had a little cameo. Yeah, I don't think there was any acting
it was very cold
involved.
that day, so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
And boys, I believe you have made us an offer for Jane.
Jane, I mean, you said your turn gave her Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, yeah.
She's actually on our radio show tomorrow afternoon.
Loving that.
She falls for pick-up lines, as we heard of during the week in the newspaper. Do you have a line that you'd like us to slip in for you?
Well, I haven't. I just think I'm such a better option than the old craggy bastard she's married. Try that on, see how it goes.
She's on the phone tomorrow on the radio show. If you give us $4.95 a minute, then you can talk to her for as long as you want.
I can actually feel some sexual chemistry because I believe Andy and Jane, you've actually shared an on-screen patch
We
before.
have locked lips.
We have?
Yes, he's...
It was on Thank God You're
He's
Here.
gone on to a better option now, OK.
Well, it was a strange one, because you said to me, it's just a screen kiss.
Yeah.
And I'd never had a screen kiss because I don't act, but I didn't know what that was, and you saw me looking nervous, and just before we went to it, you went, don't slip a tongue. She said, just for a minute, don't slip a tongue.
Well, he needed to be told. If you came at me with the tongue, it would be terrible.
What if he had it? What if he had it? What do you do?
Oh, well, I mean, it could be worse, but he's hardly Catherine Zeta-Jones.
It could have been the craggy old bastard. We don't want
Surely you would hear don't slip a tongue and go, yeah, that's fine.
That's fine, as long as it's not a tongue. All right, now, I should mention, we've mentioned enough, but once again, next week, the show will be from New York City. Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Adam Hills will be joining us, Janine Garofalo, Ben Lee, Kelly Clarkson, plus all of these guys. And, of course, me on Sesame Street with Elmo, which will be great fun.
Yeah, have fun.
I will.
Yeah, I hope it's good, all of you.
We'll be crossing live. We'll be crossing to you, Carrie, and you, Hughesy, you'll be joining us for later.
Yeah, we'll be in the show, and yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, no, I've got to go for the LA one, yeah, because I'm an LA sort of guy.
Fast mover,
all right, well, on that note, it's only appropriate that tonight's music is from a New Yorker. She's been described as jaw-dropping and a genius, just like you, Chamber. Is here to perform Fidelity from the album Begin to Hope. It's Regina Spektor, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week from New York City, thanks to everybody tonight. Until then, I'm Rove McManus. Say hi to your mum for me. Good night.
I never loved nobody fully. Always 1 foot on the ground. And by protecting my heart truly, I got sounds I hear in my mind, all of these voices I hear in my mind, all of these words I hear in my mind, all of this music, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart. Suppose I never ever met you. Suppose we never fell in love. Suppose I never ever let you kiss me so sweet and so soft. Suppose I never ever saw you. Suppose you never ever called. Ooh, suppose I kept on singing love songs just to break my own fall, just to break my fall, just to break my fall, just to break my fall, break my fall, break my fall. All my friends say that of course it's gonna get better, gonna get better, 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 better. Oh, I never loved nobody fully. Always one foot on the ground, and by protecting my heart truly, I got lost in the sounds I hear in my mind, all of these voices I hear in my mind, all of these words I hear in my mind, all of this music, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart. I hear in my mind, all of these voices I hear in my mind, all of these words I hear in my mind, all of this music, and it breaks my heart, 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 and it breaks my heart.